We're to keep the royal Torah, or what James calls the royal law, which is connected to the covenant by virtue, of course, of the sign. The sign is, and this I believe, when I speak to people, this is usually the trigger that made you start knocking down the wall of pagan tradition. What about the Sabbath? You start questioning that and the wall comes crumbling down. Because the reality is, if you don't keep the Sabbath, you don't even believe in the 10 Commandments. You don't. Don't double talk me and say you're a follower of Yeshua and you don't even keep in the 10 Commandments. Because you're not. So what is your faith? You don't even believe in the 10 Commandments. You may as well be a heathen. There is no difference. Because the heathen, I know many heathen that are moral, decent people. It's called morality. It's the morality of man. That's the Renaissance thinking. But we're not supposed to be moral in the Renaissance mindset. We are supposed to be in covenant with Yahweh. It's a difference. Because once you start knocking down the 10 Commandments, what do you have? They're called the 10 Commandments. They're not called the 10 suggestions. They're not called the 10 principles. They're not the 10 principles. And that was what was communicated to me for 10 years. Well, these are principles. Sabbath is a principle. I'd love to believe that, because then I could continue on in lawlessness, would have been my mindset in the church. Give me the chapter and give me the verse where it says that they're principles. It doesn't exist. It's vanity, plain vanity. So we understand why the church is buckling under the pressure and why Islam is having more converts to it. Why? Because Islam actually stands upon the writings that were established through the Hadiths and through Muhammad. They actually do stand upon that. It's wrong, but they do believe in it literally. They follow it literally. And when it says in the Quran to cut off the ear, smite the fingertips, and behead, they do actually follow those commandments. They are insane, but they do follow them. Whereas we have the commandments and we don't follow them. We actually have the true living Elohim, the one true Elohim, giving us commandments, and we don't follow it because we're saying, oh, they're principles that I can just think about in my mind. And we wonder why we're ineffective to go to war against the principalities that are overcoming not only this nation, but the world. We have to be radicalized to the truth of Yahweh's word, which is faithfulness and keeping his commandments. It is concrete. First, the natural, and then you'll be enlightened for the spiritual. Just like we teach our children. Let me continue on. I get so passionate, I'm into like 2 sentences of my notes. Sorry. But we understand that we're supposed to hear his voice. We're supposed to hear his voice and be the people of the sign, which of course is the Sabbath, which connects us to all of his feasts, his festivals, and his holy things. And if you can find Hanukkah in the Torah, I'll keep that too. But it doesn't exist. Again, so let's be excited about Torah, but let's really stick with what is in the Torah. Oh, I shouldn't have said that.